Welcome to Kats Creations live on a Friday night, where tonight we're kind of moving forward into the calendar year, and today we're doing our first Halloween wreath. So I'm super excited because I'm feeling the need this year to really delve into fabric mesh. So this is what this wreath is going to be created with, is orange and black fabric mesh. We're staying within the traditional orange and black traditional colors of Halloween. Those have a tendency of faring better on the sale side than when you kind of deviate and go into some of the off colors. So I'm hoping you guys are going to enjoy this particular live. So housekeeping rules. 1, if you're new, let us know. Let us know where you're from. Let us know that you're joining us for the first time so we can welcome you, and then hopefully you'll make a connection here with somebody close to where you live. This is a public video, so you can feel free to like this video, share it, especially if this is a design you're going to want to make later. It's easier to find the design on your page than to get filtered through with all the other stuff that gets posted on my particular page. YouTubers, if you are catching this, this is not a Facebook Live. This is Friday, June 5th, 2020, because now I'm starting to see people going back into my 2018 videos, and for them, they're like, oh, it's my first time catching you, and it's like, oh, these are 2 years old. So I can't wait to show you guys what we're going to create tonight. So first of all, do we have people joining us?
We do. We have Audrey, of course. Hi, Audrey.
Hi, Audrey.
Karen, Lynn, Sabrina, Sharon, Della, Sandra, Jane, Karen, Cobb. Hi, Karen. Debbie and Maggie so far.
Okay, perfect.
Where's the sign from?
The sign came from Three Birds Nest Co. or Three Birds Nest Company. You will find them on Etsy, as well as the sign that's on the wreath behind me, because I pulled those up, and both of them are still available. And right now she's running a 15% off everything in her shop as far as the Halloween stuff goes. So you can score these signs for a really good price right now. This one is a 12-inch. I believe you can also get it in an 8-inch, if I'm not mistaken, or a 10-inch, so you can go a little bit smaller. All the material tonight, with the exception of one ribbon, came from Crinkle Designs. So Crinkle Designs is a small business of their own on their website. So it's crinkledesigns.us, and they sell like the ribbons, they sell the Deco mesh. So all of the ribbon, like I said, with the exception of, I think it's the polka dot one, this one, all the ribbon came from Crinkle Designs, as well as the fabric mesh, which I have to tell you, when I was cutting today, the quality is probably the best fabric mesh that I have found so far. So very, very pleased.
And they're out of Illinois, I think, right? Illinois, I believe so.
I think so.
Yeah.
So both
Champagne.
of those are resources for you.
A lot of the gals said, I need this. Courtney says, yay, love Halloween. A lot of the gals said, oh, Sabrina said, I've watched a live before, but never really commented. I'm from New York City, so hi,
feel
Sabrina.
free, jump in, ask anything that you want.
Yep. Yeah, a couple gals said they can't wait for this because they love Halloween.
There's a lot, like my kids, and they're grown, they're full grown. Halloween is probably their favorite holiday they look forward to. So as wreath makers, we always have to be a couple months ahead, because buyers start picking up some of their holiday items as early as July. So you want to make sure that you have something in your shop that they can purchase if they're looking to buy ahead and get great deals. And you guys know me, I don't replicate my designs, so if you like this design, it will be the only one created, just like all the others. There might be similarities, but never the exact same wreath twice. Yep. It's not fun doing that way.
And gals, we are not going to talk about any of the writing that's going on. This is going to be a fun video, and that's going to be the focus.
Okay.
There's a couple gals already commenting about
what's going on in the world today.
Yeah, so let's just put all that aside and just have fun.
Yeah. Okay, so sticking to the traditional colors. So if, as you're planning for the holidays, and this is a wreath maker's busy time of the year. Try to stay within the traditional colors, especially if you're starting out for the first time. It's when we try to go crazy and get into stuff like purples and pinks and blues, you know, colors not normally associated with those particular holidays. You have a struggle trying to find a buyer who's interested in that, unless it's a custom order and they've reached out to you and said, hey, can you do something a little bit out of the box? So this one's traditional orange and black. Like I said, sign came from 3 Birds Nests, all the ribbon and the Deco mesh, kringledesigns.us. They're small business folks, so I love being able to promote them.
You know what her name is?
It's Jeff and Chris.
Okay.
So that's all I know.
Well, there's a Bonnie's channel since said type in code 50/50 and get 50% off at Kringle Designs.
Right, but if you join my private group, we get a better discount than that one. So that is for private group members. So I try to secure additional deals for people as far as like a perk for joining the private group membership, and they love the discount that they just got this week. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get going. I am doing the flat. It's a fabric mesh, so we're doing solid black and solid orange, and we're going to alternate it. These are 20-inch pieces of 10.5. So the fabric mesh is actually a 10.5. So this is going to make it a little bit bigger by an inch. So I think this will be a 26-inch diameter wreath by the time we're finished. But let me go ahead and show you how you're going to set up your 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame. I get asked this question a lot. Some people want to see me do the entire thing. I think it's kind of redundant. If I just show you how to do one section, you can pretty much do the other 5. So let me get my color coordinated pipe cleaners here. So on a 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame, you have 4 rails. You have, you know, the innermost one, which I call 1, 2, 3, and 4 being the outermost. I color coded this just to match our decor. It looks nice when you kind of color coordinate. So this will be a little tough to see, but you're going to take the first 2, you're going to put your pipe cleaner around the innermost one and the second one. You're going to use this weld mark and this weld mark to help you try to find a center point for this pipe cleaner, and then you're just simply going to twist it on so that it's in the middle of that section on the first 2. Then, there we go, on the outer 2, you're going to use this weld mark and your pipe cleaner here that you started and try to find a midway point, and then you're going to twist that one, and I needed black to stay with my orange, black, and then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. This way it gives you 6 on the inside and then 12 on the outside for a total of 18 pipe cleaners. And by wiring them together, it just helps, gives you some more stability, so you don't have to glue them and they don't flop around on you while you're trying to put your deco mesh in.
Hi Amy. Amy said, I've been following you for a while, but this is my first time catching you live, so welcome. And then she said she's not familiar with the private group.
Oh, well, I'll fill you in while I am doing the deco mesh rolls. So, as you guys can see, this is already a really good quality deco mesh. I was highly impressed, and it takes a lot to impress me as far as quality goes. Just really super good quality fabric mesh. Most of the time when we refer to fabric mesh, it's kind of like a polypropylene mixed with the cotton fibers, which means that you cannot cut this with a wood burning tool. You have to cut it with a rotary cutter, but this cut really well. So highly impressed. So we're just gonna ruffle. So I want to kind of keep this one large but flat. And I'm going to actually start with the black. I'll keep black with black and orange with orange. So what I do is I start with the inside and I lay my mesh to where the finished edge on the top and bottom are on the inside and the outside, with the cut edges being towards the side. And then I go inside and then I'll do the outside too, and then I go back inside, and I just keep going all the way around as I work my.
So the Kringle, the Deco mesh is from Kringle Design?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes, it is. So I think I'm going to be buying lots more of this. And like I said earlier, I think this was the first year I started to experiment a little bit. I've always liked the jute mesh because it just creates a softer feel for that. And so this is going to be the first of the seasonals with the fabric mesh.
Mary, she'll show you in this one too, because this is a metal sign, she'll be placing it inside in the middle, and the middle will pretty much create a pocket for the sign, but she'll put, she'll use her beadsmith little metal hole punch, and she'll use her pipe cleaners to tie it back onto the frame, and that's how it keeps from slipping.
Were they asking how to attach the sign?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't recommend using the adhesive squares because either A, you have to supplement it with glue to get it to not pop off, and as temperatures change, even in storage, you know, like while you're putting these away for storage, you can come back to them later and find out that one side of the sign has broke away from the way that it's mounted, and that's not something you want to have happen while your customer has their wreath. So,
Kim asks, is that what they call the laser mesh? Huh?
No, this is fabric mesh. They call it striped fabric mesh. It doesn't have any metallic fibers in it at all. It's just a really well made fabric mesh. And yes, it still is going to fray, so this is going to be one that you're going to want to, when you're finished, spray it with like the E6000 adhesive spray, so that the edges don't fray any additional. I mean, it's nice to have it, you know, have that worn in look, I guess, but you don't want it to completely unravel.
I don't even know if she did that on purpose.
What?
You said you got black nails, but they're kind of not really black. They're like a mauve color.
Yeah.
And then you've got orange
pumpkin
shirt
orange shirt
and a black apron.
Yeah, this was not planned. This this was just, hey, it was hanging in my closet, and I was like, oh, it's a little cold out here today. We've kind of got a cold snap blowing in for the next 3 days here in Southern California. No rain, just a lot of wind. So I'm super excited to see what this is going to look like. It just looks very clean, like the lines are very like precise, and I generally don't see that happen too much. So this is going to be a really thick wreath, and fabric just feels nicer. It feels cottony. So I'm just following suit with my pipe cleaners. And this is the basic Deco mesh technique. They call it scrunching or ruffling. You're just taking your Deco mesh and kind of pulling it towards you. It's the easiest Deco mesh method to try. So if you're interested or haven't done it for the first time, that would be my preferred method for you to jump in and do. It's just super easy. So this one has no sparkles, no glitter. A Halloween wreath without glitter. That's a novel thing.
Right.
I don't think we've ever done that. This is the time of the year where our house just turns into a glitter fest, because usually you pull out all those ribbons for fall and Halloween and Christmas, and everything has glitter on it. And therefore our house has glitter all in it, everywhere. So black. Okay. So do you guys have any questions at all?
I think there's a problem with Etsy again right now.
Etsy?
I can't. Won't let me log in. Won't let me pull in.
Why are you trying to log into Etsy?
Just to see the Kringle designs.
They're not on Etsy.
Oh, where are they at?
Their own website.
So
KringleDesigns.us.
KringleDesigns.us. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, they are not on Etsy. They're their own company.
Let me delete this comment.
Yeah, only 3 Birds Nests is on Etsy.
Is it designs with plural?
Yes, KringleDesigns.us.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. You can ask me a question at any point. I'd be happy to help you.
Well, I was just making sure. A lot of the gals are asking for it, so I wanted to pin the comment.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for posting the link. So, private group. I do have a private group. It's $17 a month. What you get. All my private tutorials from 2018 all the way to current. Those are all they're all unlocked and available to you. You also get discounts that I secure with vendors like Jane's Front Door Decor, 3 Birds Nest, Kringle Designs now, and a few others. I just haven't looked at the list. You get detailed materials lists, so like all the stuff I'm using tonight, the private group members will have access to, because once I finish it, I'll actually know what all I used and how much of it. You get them for all of my public and private lives. So all the SKU numbers for this Deco mesh, for all the ribbon, what's the length, what was the technique. So you can basically take that, shop for it, and then come back, click on the video, and rewatch it and replicate it. Which I'm okay with, because I only make one of them anyway. So if people want to replicate the design, go ahead. It's a good thing.
Anderson, hi Steve and Kat, finally caught you live. I always watch your replays. It's hot here in Nebraska, hoping for rain.
Oh, nice.
Amy, Kat just told you about where to find the private group.
Well,
and I posted the site as well.
What, my website?
Yeah, KatsCreationsNMore.com.
Yeah, to sign up, it's going to be at KatsCreations.com, and you're going to go all the way to the bottom.
KatsCreationsNMore.com.
Yeah. That's my website. And then you can do it one of 2 ways. You can do the monthly, or you can do a yearly, and then you just pay for 10 months and you get 2 months free. And then you know you're good until next year this time, which we have quite a few people who went yearly.
Thank you, Sharon.
What's that?
I missed the A in the website.
Oh. What do you guys think of the color so far? This orange is like orange, like not the color of the pipe cleaner orange. And I just have a couple left, so black, total of 4 left. And then we will make our bow. I haven't decided if I'm going to do double bows on this one or not. This is a 12-inch round sign. So it's going to take up a little bit of space, about half the space on the wreath.
And for this size frame, yeah, she always does 18. So it's always 12 on the outside, 6 on the inside.
Yeah.
Debbie asked if you used a 12-inch frame to make a smaller wreath for a lower price point.
You can. Usually what I do is I still stay within this size-wise and just go with lower cost materials, not quality materials, to make them more affordable. So I do have some wreaths in my shop that are priced at like $45 to $55, just to kind of keep them budget friendly for everybody. So it just depends. Like when you're using this mesh was expensive mesh. I didn't realize how expensive it was.
Was it?
Yeah, it's fairly expensive.
But did you get it for half off?
Yeah, but even still, it's still expensive. Because fabric mesh, for some reason, maybe it's just the softness, you know, you're going to pay more for that. But I like it. I think it's worth it. So orange and black, and then we're done. For the mesh part. And I think the ribbons, the diagonal plaid, I think those are sold out, and I think they're sold out. I don't think they're getting any more of those in, because I think I found them on the clearance side of their website. I always shop clearance or what is it, on sale, because sometimes you can get some really good deals. Especially when you buy in the off season, like you're shopping for Halloween in like January and February.
And yes, Karen, it is the 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame, because that's the easiest to get. You can order it online, or most people have Dollar Trees that are near them.
Yeah, I'm just, like I said, this is going on my 3rd year of doing this as a business, and so I try to keep costs down, but keep quality up, if that makes sense.
Shirley said, I had a request to make a wreath for social distancing, which you've already made one.
Yes, you can find that video on YouTube.
She said, I'm at a loss other than face masks. Any other ideas from anyone? So Shirley, you researched Kat's video she did on that social distancing.
Yeah, I think it's Betty at Shore Life Creations has signs for social distancing. So you might find that an inspiration point and then go from there to work out your design. So this is going to work out really well, because little did I know the sign actually went into the shed to find all my fall, Christmas, and Halloween signs, and I had this, and then I had ordered these ribbons from Crinkle because they were in their sale tab, but it's the exact same print that kind of goes around the outside of that the sign. So what I'm going to do is, I know I'm not going to be using the inside 6, so I usually do this after I make the bow, but I'm going to go ahead and snip out the inside 6.
Stella says, I have learned so much from Kat by joining the private group. I enjoy both creative designs on Sundays and a business class on Mondays. Thank you, Kat.
Yeah, we're getting ready to ramp up for the Christmas in July stuff. Like, we're trying to get everybody, you've got the month of June to get everything ready for people who start purchasing in July. And then you have all the July holidays, you have all the beach, you have all the patriotic, you have all the seasonal stuff like apples and sunflowers. So it just gives you some additional stuff. And I'm really trying to push the envelope this year for 2020 and coming up with some new designs that we haven't done before.
Yeah, Lorraine's a great match.
I'm trying not to snag my sweater on that as I work around.
Sabrina said, how do you store your wreaths for next year?
Mine go on hangers. I just, usually on the back of the wreath, I'll just take a wire hanger or a plastic hanger and kind of go up through this, and then they get hung literally like this in the closet. So I hang them with clothes, and then they're safe, they're protected in the closet. So yeah, all my extra closet space is for wreath storage. Okay, so let's go ahead and make the bow that we're going to need for this. And let me grab, I'm going to use my bow dabra, and we're going to use the plaid, we're going to use the black with pumpkins. Kind of looking at how these are going to play out. I think it's going to go like this. So we'll put the black down with the pumpkins, and then we'll go plaid, then black, then orange with black polka dots, then a solid orange, and then the orange diagonal. The reason why I chose solids in this mix is because I actually had all 6 patterned ribbons, but it sometimes seems like it's a little overkill. You know, I had ones with stripes, ones with zigzags. So I just wanted to tone it down a bit. So dovetail. For all of your ribbons, you're going to take your wired edges, you're going to bring them together, and you're going to cut from the fold to the point. And I'm doing, just leave that open, then I can just throw everything in there. We're doing 10-inch tails. The nice thing about the sign is there's the word, but it's kind of in the center. It's not off to like the top where I have to watch wording. Yep. So this is going to have 5.5-inch loops. So it's kind of nice because then I get 2 pumpkin faces per loop. It's kind of working out that way. Yeah, that one's just a tad too long. I try to find that if you keep your ribbon lengths and loops the same, it becomes easier when you go to fluff, because then you don't have like one loop that's slightly bigger than the other, and then you're trying to pull it and even it up in the midst of this. So there's that one. Okay. And then we'll do the plaid. And I'm loving these colors this year. Black and orange. I think the one I did last year that was slightly outside of the traditional box, I did black and tan. I only did one, but it sold pretty quickly. I just kind of kept the design pretty classic and natural. I think I want this one to be a 5-inch loop. So this one has a 9.5-inch tail and 5-inch loops. So I'm kind of bringing them in a 1/2 inch at a time. Oh, I need 5, not, I was doing 5.5.
Oh, Monica, she said, "Hi everyone, I have that sign." She's giving her ideas.
Yeah, this one, it's, I mean, I went to her website. I think I found 5 other ones that I would really like to do that are a little bit different. Not different, like different from Halloween, just different than what I've seen. So I might be going over there and picking up a few more signs. Because believe it or not, I don't have that many Halloween signs. I know, Steve's like, yeah, right.
I'm sure you do, you just haven't found them yet.
No, I found them. I have more fall than Halloween. So this one's going to be 9-inch tails, 4.5-inch loops. Let's see how close we can get. A little bit. This is where I'm saying those solid colors will kind of tone down the busy patterns. Yeah. And it won't all be pattern.
Just a good traditional design on sign. Love the black cat silhouette. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I got the sign because of we have a black cat. So I was like, oh, this makes sense. Okay. Trying to migrate this stuff off.
Kim said, "I've been waiting anxiously for my signs from Three Birds Nest. I have 6 coming," she thinks.
Did you order this one? She's like, no, but it probably will be now. That's my whole problem. I always find new ones, or they come out with new ones after I've already placed my order for the ones that I wanted now, and they're like, oh, we launched 5 new designs. I'm like, I'll I'll be ordering those. So this is 8.5 inch tails, and we're keeping the 4.5 inch loops. So we're just gonna pull those. That's the nice thing about trying to keep things consistent, is once you've measured the black one at the bottom, you just kind of put your fingers in them and just pull. So that.
Debbie, this is 10.5 inch mesh and it's cut to 15 inches?
20 inches.
20 inches.
I always do the 20.
20.
Because when you have a full roll, if you do 20 inch pieces, you can go through a whole roll. So right now I have enough to do 2 of them in the black and orange, which is going to be nice because there's a couple more signs that are black and orange that I want to pull from. So we will do that. And it's nice just to have bases made. So then you can just come back in and add your ribbons to the top. I'll do the orange, and then we'll finish off with the plaid. This one actually had 2 pins in it. That was weird.
I put one in there.
Did you?
I found a pin on the floor, so I
Oh.
just stuck it in there as
I was like,
ribbon.
okay, that's so not like me to pin it twice, but I don't like that tail. It wasn't deep enough. It looks too stubby. Let's put that down.
Debbie, good catch. I think she was going to do a redo, but then she found the sign.
I was, and I thought I'll do it in the private group and then we'll reschedule it. Strictly because when I was going through the wreaths that I was thinking about redoing, I was asking Steve, I'm like, okay, out of these 3, which one do you think we should redo? And he was like,
Yeah,
it was a hard pick for you.
But it was still the black, purple, and orange one.
Yeah, but I'm like, there's nothing wrong with the base. It's just, I would just change some of the design. So I'd probably yank the sign out of it and then save the base and do a different design with that base someplace else. So these are 4 inch loops with 8 inch tails.
Gotcha. Yeah, Debbie Hanford asked if you could do like a redo wreath next week.
Yes. That's what I've been doing. I've actually gone back through my shop and looked at all the ones that I put in there, like when I very first started, and when I couldn't really like master the bow technique, and a lot of times my tails were shorter than I would have wanted them to be. So you just kind of take that years of experience that you have, and then you just flip it and go back in and refresh those wreaths instead of just remaking something new. So I have quite a few of the older Halloween ones. But there's a couple I think I'm just going to ixnay the sign, take the sign out. Thanks. Trying to get deeper V's into my ribbon tails. So this one's 7.5 inch tail, and this will be 3.5 inch loop. So it's going to be a small one.
Hey everyone, just joining.
And
No problem.
3.5, and then 7.5 inch tail.
You should. I love the addition of the solid ribbon. Yeah, it breaks up too much.
It breaks up the pattern, yeah. And sometimes that's nice. I want to do a summer wreath with all solids, no patterns. Just to see what that looks like. Just something different, just to mix it up. Okay, so pipe cleaner, let's do black. I'm like, technically I can go black or orange. So we're gonna take this stack, we're gonna lift everything up. I usually 2-hand it just so that you can keep your sandwich, your ribbon sandwich together. And then I'm gonna take my pipe cleaner and put it right through, keeping the stack stacked, and you're just gonna twist your bow, but hold on to your pipe cleaner. And then I'll get my fluff board so we can fluff the bow. So I use an 18 by 24 inch cutting board. Number one, it's small, it's thin, it's flat. Store it next to my refrigerator, so storage isn't an issue. And then I add a C-hook to it. So I'm just gonna take it and loop it around my pipe cleaner to hold it. And I prefer doing them long ways. And then what you're gonna do is pull your loop and your tail in opposite directions, and then go over to the other side and do the exact same thing. So that your loops are across and then your tails are across from each other. And then we'll go down to the next one down, and you're gonna pull those in opposites. So we're gonna pull the loop this way and the tail this way.
Maggie asks, do you normally spray the wreath before you attach the metal sign?
No, I wait till afterwards and just spray everything. Because it's a small little controlled pump bottle, you can just kind of keep it down here on the bottom. I have no need to spray it up and around the sign.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do these opposites.
And then Susan, yeah, she will. When she does a redo, she'll remove or she'll redo the original listing on Etsy. She'll just redo it.
Yeah, you go in and edit it and
Right.
then change your photos. So now we're gonna do the same thing. I'm looking at how I wanna pull these because I don't want black all being on the same side. So I'm gonna go opposites here. And if you change it up, you just have to make sure you change it on the other side too. So the rest of my ribbon is just kind of following suit. Get back over. And then we're gonna do loop and tail.
Cheryl, we used to do a lot of craft fairs. We don't do too many anymore. Now we don't do any, right, because of COVID.
Yeah.
But usually now it's 90% for Kat online. Sells all of her stuff online.
There's a lot of people though that have done extraordinarily well with craft fairs.
And farmers markets, yeah.
Yeah, up here, we've just launched a new venture up here with a new company that's kind of going a little high end, but that would require me to basically every Sunday and every Wednesday be a dedicated vendor there, and I don't want to do that right now. I kind of want to do what we're doing, and it's almost like having two jobs at that point. Feels like you're having two jobs. So now I'm going to go back and put all my curls in my ribbons and just straighten everything out. Just get all the ribbon organized where it needs to be. Opening up all the loops. Okay, where's my other tail? It should be here. There we go. And once you have it on your board, you can really pull pretty good to pull stuff around to where you want it to be. So, there's the bow.
Yep, got it.
And we'll just go ahead and slide it off the hook. There we go. And
Donna, so the E6000 spray, yeah, it's like a light glue and like a UV spray that helps kind of keep the mesh from fraying.
yeah.
And it helps keep it from discoloring.
So I'm looking at my bow. I try to find ones that doesn't have an awful lot of tails kind of in the way, or ones that are smaller, shorter. I think I'm going to do with the pumpkin. So I think I'm going to bring this in over the orange. Take it right down to the frame. So we'll see how easy it is to get your pipe cleaner through fabric mesh now. Okay. You just gotta make sure you hit the rail with a pipe cleaner on both sides and not the same side. And we'll probably come back and fluff this 4 or 5 more times before we finish. We're gonna move this over. Open those a bit. Seems like instead of, I think I need to spin this just a little bit.
Sandra said, love the bow.
So I'm just gonna move it to where the tails are more this side, and I just have loops here. That'll work.
Now time for the sign.
Now time for the sign. Yep. So the sign's gonna kind of tuck in right about there. It's not gonna be centered,
It's gonna be off a little bit.
it's kind of over. It's a little off center to the left. And so I'm like kind of looking at placement, like where do I want to secure it. So I'm probably gonna go under the bow and then here off to the side. So I use a 1.5 millimeter hole punch. You can get them at Michael's and Joann's in the jewelry section. I think they call them jeweler's hole punches. So you can go all the way up to 2.5 millimeter. And they work just like a hole punch.
1.5, you kind of have to wiggle a little bit to get the pipe cleaner in, but
It depends on your pipe cleaners.
yeah.
So if you have really thin, like rubbery pipe cleaners, they kind of are like, these ones are really thick. But I've seen some that are there's not as thick of a wire through them, and those will go through the sign better on a 1.5. These ones I kind of have to coax in. Oh, I wanted black, not orange. So I was like, I poked it inside the black color.
That's why she said you'd go up to a 2 or 2.5 and it's easier to pull it through.
I would do 2, not 2.5.
Yeah.
Because mine's 1.5. I think if they went 2.5, it'd be a little too big. So we'll go ahead and add that. And, okay. There we go. You just got to get through the fuzzy part first. Keep them kind of even. This way, they won't pop off the back of your wreath.
Debbie, she does have a tutorial on how to wire up the 14 by $14 Dollar Tree frame. It's been a while ago, last year at least.
What? No, this year.
How to wire up the frame?
No, we did it this year.
Okay.
We went back to basics and started all over again. So it's probably the first video I did in end of January this year.
In the public group?
Private group.
That's what it sounds, but
Yeah, private group.
public group that you did one that was a long time ago.
Yeah, like you probably have to watch one of the videos from 2018. Because then people said they were tired of watching me. They're like, can't you just do one section and then we just move on to everything else? So I was like, yeah, I guess we could. We don't have to do all of it.
Yeah, Debbie, you could go back to the beginning of this video because she shows you, this is on the 14-inch Dollar Tree frame. She shows you how to do one section and you could just follow along all the rest.
Let's see. I might want this pulled up a bit. I might want to pull it over. I'm trying not to impede my sign. I might want to take my bow up to the next level. Let me see. I might take it just a little higher. Just because it's like, I'm having to struggle too much to make the word work. Like it's hiding the H so much in Halloween. So I'm just going to take it up.
You can move it up a little bit.
Just to, yeah, I'm going to move it up, like to the next section. It's just getting it through all the layers of the fabric mesh. we'll try here now. And I think that works a little bit better because it's over to the side more. Okay, what do you guys think? What does it look like, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why there's pins everywhere. Okay, so from here, we're gonna go around the outside 12, and we're gonna add in the plaid 2.5 inch, which is cut to 13-inch pieces. And these are already pre-cut, and then the pumpkin, they're all 13 inches. So I'm just gonna alternate. I'll probably do this, the plaid on the black fabric mesh, and then I'll do the black on the orange fabric mesh.
Susan, she doesn't treat and spray each wreath. On some of the wreaths where she does use fabric mesh, yeah, if it does fray, you can treat and spray it with that E6000.
Yes.
It'll keep it from fraying as much.
The more you play with it, the more it's going to continue to fray. Yeah. So most people are just going to take it and they're going to put it up on the door and that's it. And that's great. But like when you're sitting here building it, you're touching all those sections that are, you know, raw edges where they're uncut. So it's going to kind of, you're going to have like little pieces you're going to have to cut. And then it's beneficial almost to just spray it. It doesn't leave it sticky. It doesn't, you know, you would think if you're using a spray adhesive, oh, that's going to just make it super stiff. It really doesn't. It keeps it, it just helps the fibers stay together.
And the spray itself does have a very mild smell to it, but by the time it's dry, there's no odor.
Yeah, it smells like Elmer's glue is what it smells
bit,
like.
Yeah.
So if you're okay with the Elmer's glue, because it's liquid, you'll be fine. You don't smell anything afterwards. It's just another way of, you know, if it's going to be outside exposed, although I always say to keep them under a covered patio walkway, it just helps, you know, it not have to compete with the direct sunlight and the wind and rain and everything else. It'll last longer.
Karen said, you can sure make gorgeous bows, Kat.
You know what's sad? Okay, watch. I will go, it's sitting on the table, the redo one. I'll show you what a gorgeous bow looked like in 2018. It's really sad. Because I was like, good God, that needs to come off of there. We need to redo that.
So do you think in 2 years you'll look back at these bows and go, oh, good God?
Probably. I'll be like, wow, I went with that technique? What was I thinking? Yeah. Who knows? I mean, at the time, that's what I knew. So a lot of it was, you know, flex tubing, because when you first start out, you're on a budget. So I wasn't ordering stuff from like Craft Outlet or the Wreath Shop. There was no crinkle designs. There was just a handful of people who made signs. Most of them, I think most of my craft supplies came from Hobby Lobby, Joann's, and Michael's. Because that's what I had, you know, access to. So, yes. What do you guys think of the colors? Does it coordinate well with the sign?
Yeah, they already said they love the colors.
Okay.
Good question, April. She said, what are the ribbons cut at?
13 inches for the tails and 16 inches for the 1.5 inches. So, yeah, when I first started out, I was doing 10-inch tails, which are really short. I actually took a picture of it and said, just in case you don't believe me, I pulled these out and look, here it is on the cutting mat. They were 10 inches. So depending upon the technique, I mean, if you're doing a poof wreath with a base, you might want to take it even out to 14 or 15 inches. Depends on how deep your poofs are to get them to come out to where you can see them. We are on black. Down in here. And I think these are what sell at your craft fair, your traditional. Because when people go looking for a Halloween wreath, either A, they're looking for something spooky and completely like not what you'd find in the stores, or traditional colors. Two more. And then we'll add in our 1.5 inches. And then I'm thinking about adding some scatters and fillers to the pipe cleaners. So you won't see me cut those off when we go through and add in the 2.5 or the 1.5 inches, because I might want to just follow that up with some of the styrofoam balls in orange and black.
Caitlin's on. She's on my favorite holiday.
I know, see? It's our favorite holiday. Hers and Kaylee's. They live for Halloween. So, okay, this is it, which is the tails added. And now we're going to come in with those 4 ribbon colors up here in the bow. We're going to add those to the tails. Yes?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to do things called the half bow, which are, these are all cut to 16-inch pieces. I think I have an extra one in this color. So 3 of each color will make the 4 as we go around. So obviously on the pumpkin, we're going to pop that with the orange. The orange. And this. I don't like looking at my colors. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. So the pumpkins get the plaid and the solid orange. We're alternating. So to do a half bow, you're going to bring your tails together. You're going to go all the way up to the top to the 2-inch mark. You're going to pinch it so that from here to here is exactly 2 inches. Like, you get so good at measurements, by the time you do wreath making, you can feel what is 2 inches. You can feel what's a 4-inch loop or 5-inch loop. And we're just going to add that right into our pipe cleaner. And I'm just going to give them like 4 or 5 additional twists. Normally I cut them off, but if we decide to add the balls, I need my pipe cleaners to put the little glitter balls on. So I'll flip this around so you can see. That's what it looks like. So these will eventually go away once we put the little scatters and fillers on them. So I'm going to go back around here, and we said these were going on the other. On this, I'll do polka dot right now. I'm trying to break up solids, keeping the solids together. That's going to end up probably working out that way anyway. So we'll add the polka dot. Okay. There's that one. Oh, pumpkin's getting plaid as well. Trying to break up the plaid on plaid. Two. And you never know how long you need your pipe cleaners to be. So this is one of those things where if you're just trying out a design, don't cut anything until you're done. Then if you're satisfied with the way that everything looks and you don't want to add anything else to it, Then all you have to do is go back through and cut down your pipe cleaners. But at this stage, I'm leaving them on because we'll try the scatters and fillers, or vase fillers, or glitter balls, or styrofoam balls with glitter. They have so many different names. And if I choose not to do them, then I just go around the outside and just cut all the pipe cleaners off. So that's why I keep them out here, like little arms, so I can see where they're at. You could come in, I'm trying to think, last year I had an orange and black tinsel flex tubing that I liked using quite a bit. But supplies being what they are, with everything being shut down, it's going to be really hard to find the things maybe that you used last year in a particular design, or something you want to try again might not be available. Okay. So we went orange, then polka dot. And I could have just stayed with orange and black and just kept that all the way around the outside, but I kind of wanted to tie the bow into the outside.
I actually like the different hues of the orange.
Yeah, they're different.
You're different, and it matches the sign because the sign's the same. It's got
Different.
hues.
Yeah, it's got the ombre in the center. So it's definitely a different. I mean, you could have gone orange, black, and white. That would have worked really well.
No.
Like, no.
Nah.
This one.
Oh, with me inside, I think I have some of that tubing from last year.
That's a really nice tubing. I probably have some, but probably not enough to finish the wreath, which is one of my pet projects to do this year. Is how many of you go into your craft room and you grab a roll of ribbon that you want to use and you kind of look at it. You do that. You take your roll of ribbon and you do this, and you're like, oh, I don't really have enough to do that. And then you put it back in the rack, and like, if you don't have enough to complete your project, throw it away. Take, you know, if you think you can recycle whatever's left on the thing for a project, I don't know, ribbon tray or something. But if you only have like 20 inches of ribbon, you're not going to put it to any use. It's taking up your valuable storage space in your shelf. Yeah. So chuck it.
Pat, you're really right. She said the cat really stands out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The silhouette. Yeah. I mean, there's so many different things you could add. You could add, God, and the stores are going to start putting out all their Halloween stuff now. You're going to start seeing that in your Hobby Lobbies or Joann's. Trying to think, what are some of the other stores on the East Coast? Sometimes Target, but Target doesn't start putting out Halloween until I think August.
Well, there's no more AC Moore on the East Coast anymore, right?
No, but a lot of people got some really good deals.
Sims Pottery is still out there though.
I'm looking at what goes next. Orange.
Wilmine said, just can't bring myself to throw it away.
I know, it feels like a sin. It feels like, but there's good money in there. That's why I'm like, if take it and put it in like a tub, like these are all reds, yellows, oranges, whatever, and then if you need something for like a last minute project, but I guarantee you, like when Gail was out here in March, I had this giant drawer filled with ribbon because I would just pull it off the things. Yeah. Just pull it off the remaining roll, and I would just throw it in the drawer and think, okay, well, if I need it, I know where to go get it. And when she was here, she's like, what are you saving this for? And I'm like, I don't know. Might use it someday. And she's like, you need to get rid of it. You're not going to use it. She was pulling them out, and she's like, these are all 10-inch tails. Nobody does 10-inch tails anymore. So, yeah. I just threw the bag out. I had put it in like the free marketplace thinking a teacher might want it for a school project, but then the schools are out. nobody's in school. So I'm like, yeah, it's taking up space. So it's time to cut it loose. So we have one more to go after this. And I could have done flex tubing. I just didn't really want to add much sparkle because everything else is flat. Like the fabric mesh doesn't have any metallic thread through it.
And Caitlin Craig said, hey now, I use them. If you use them, then keep them.
If you want me to save them, I'd be happy to send them to you. Because I have...
But you threw them out.
That bag I threw out. But I was telling Gail, I'm like, because this is what I do. I go into my craft room and I look for orange ribbon and I pull out a roll of orange and you're looking at it and you go, is there at least 12 feet on that? Most of the time it's no, and I'm like, well, just throw it back in there and go find another one. So, space.
Yeah, Lynn, she said you might on a multicolored wreath with different ribbon. Yeah, definitely I could see that.
But are you really going to?
Caitlin Craig said, yay.
Good.
So I think she's serious.
Yeah. Let me pull these up. So I'm trying to pull some of my Deco mesh out to kind of seat my sign in a little bit more. Like I want some of this around the outside to kind of feather. So I'm pulling this up. There we go. That way the outside looks like the outside. Okay, let me look. Scatters and fillers. So I have these Glad containers. So these are all Halloween, see, Halloween and Christmas that came in black or orange or green and brown. So I keep these just so I can keep my SKU numbers. I don't know. Let me play with a couple of them. I have like the kind that has the sequins on it. It's like a charcoal gray. And then I also have ones that are black. So let me take a couple of these down and let's do side by side.
Caitlin said, totally unrelated, but I love your nails.
Oh, thanks.
So they chip super easy.
Yeah. It's usually after I finish a wreath, I'll look down and sure enough, they're chipped. And I gotta start all over again. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use these. So what I'm doing is, I'll flip this around so you can see, is right there. I'm just adding the little scatters and fillers. They're little glitter balls. They're styrofoam. They either have glitter sprayed on them or sequins sprayed on them. So if you take your pipe cleaners like this and you just grab one of the balls, they just stick in the pipe cleaner. And so once you make the hole, after we finish the live, I go back in and just add a dab of glue and then put them back on so that they become permanent. So I'm
She's
just
been doing this for years.
cutting off the extensions, like the little pieces that have, like if the arms of my pipe cleaners are a little too long, because I want the balls closer to the center. So, and I have different sizes. Some of them are the bigger styrofoam balls. I'll just keep flipping it around. So I'm basically cutting off maybe an inch and a half. So I'm just alternating black, orange, all the way around. And then that way it adds a nice little finishing touch with just a little bit of sparkle. Not a whole lot. Okay. Spin it. You can almost tell where you need to cut them. And then they just make a nice little finishing touch. So I'm just keeping the pattern the same. You would like this, Steve. It's all symmetrical. Everything matches. Find the ones that are here.
Yeah, Wilhelmine said that was so cute with the scatters and fillers.
Yeah, the little baby balls. And Hobby Lobby had some on clearance. So they had blues and purples. So I think they're getting rid of the ones that they used to carry in their party section.
April said, check the pipe cleaner under the cat. She said, it looks like you missed one.
What do you mean?
She said, I tell you, but you missed the pipe cleaner under your cat. Maybe the one where you have to twist and cut off?
No, because I cut off all 6.
Oh yeah, no, you did miss the balls right there.
Oh yeah, I just showed you, like I showed you the 2 and turned it, and so I have to go back in and fill those.
Gotcha.
But yeah. Yeah, I just wanted you to see, because I just did 2 as a sample.
Yep.
And
Thanks,
then showed
April.
you guys, and then spun it around.
Yeah.
And then it just kept going.
Yeah, we have no problem. If we miss something or a cat missed something, just let
Oh,
us know.
heck yeah. There's sometimes that people go, you forgot to dovetail one of your ribbon tails, and I'll be like, did I? Oh, yes, I did. Those are things you'll catch. Okay, those were the 2 I got. Yeah, I have 2 under the cat. So we'll cut their arms off, the little pipe cleaners. I didn't think that I was going to have enough black to fill this, because the black and orange are hard to find. Now they are. Okay. I'll keep folding them.
Brenda, yeah, if it won't let you watch, just log out completely at Facebook and then try logging back in. It's a Facebook thing.
They just need to keep things consistent and stop messing with it.
Edie said they had just the right amount of sparkle.
Yeah, and it's so far away from everything else that it doesn't take your eye away from anything. And I can take this out. So that becomes my chore to do afterwards. I find that if I just complete it right when I'm finished, then I don't have to worry about it when I go back in. Check those in there. Okay, so let me show ya, since we're all done. Put that one there. Let me fix my bow a bit. Let me get my ribbons back. Okay.
And yeah, she'll go back in and glue all the balls into the...
That's why the glue gun's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, it becomes a pain when you get ready to ship it out. And you, yikes, there it goes. You start looking at, like, I quality control, check everything. Make sure all the pipe cleaners are trimmed. Let's move these guys up.
And you don't have to use the glitter balls if you don't want them, if you don't have them.
Yeah.
You can order them online. You've done it before from Amazon, right?
You did.
Yeah.
I didn't.
But you can get them at Hobby Lobby. Most Hobby Lobby stores are open now.
Some are. So I'm just taking all my...
But you don't have to use them if you don't. You just curl your pipe cleaners and then cut them off and then...
Yeah, I would just cut them off
bend
and
it
tuck
back.
them behind.
Tuck it behind, yeah.
But you might want to put some other things in there. They have all kinds of stuff, like you could add pics to this with like black cats on it. So I'm just prepping this all for photos, so you always want to make sure all your tips are all pointy, nothing's folded.
Move the bottom to the left a little bit so it's straight.
What?
It needs the bottom needs to go that way a little bit. Yeah, there you go.
Well, I'm just pulling on ribbon. I'm fluffing.
Okay, Caitlin, we've done that so many times.
What's that?
See, one time I did a quality check on a fall wreath, and apparently I'd forgotten to glue all my mums down. Yeah, there's weeks we've forgotten to glue balls in.
Yeah, most of the time it's if I've used these, I forget to do it. Because something comes up right after I finish. I'm like, oh, I'll do that when I get back. No. But yeah, it's always worth double checking everything. Make sure all your threads are cut off. If you've glued anything, make sure all your glue threads are gone. So I'm just pulling these all around, and then I'll fix this one. So make sure all your, there want one of my glitter balls. Okay. And making sure all my loops are open. All these. I want to have all of them to almost where it looks like they're starched. Perfect. Because your picture is what sells your design.
Yeah, so I need a door like you guys have. It looks much better than my outside door. That makes my clothes look much better. Yeah, 40, 50 bucks at Lowe's.
Yeah.
Who was it? Was it Wilhelmine?
Wilhelmine has one. She actually did.
Yeah.
She did what I was saying we wanted to do, which is you paint, it comes white, and then on the back side, you can paint it black. So you have a light door and a dark door. And she actually did what I need you to do, which is put it on wheels.
Put it
so
on
you
wheels
can turn
on the bottom. Yeah.
Because we just pick it up and kind of stash it by our dining room table. So, there you guys go. I'm like, there we go.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, like always. Thank you, April.
Thanks,
This is
April.
pretty. David says, why don't you cover the back of your wreaths? You don't really need to.
I haven't, and this is going on 3 years, because on the back of the wreath, it gives the customer 4 different places to hang it, depending on their height, so they can hang it here, 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 or here. So I don't have a need to cover the back. So
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what we said. Your door's on wheels.
doors on wheels.
But yeah, I literally got this door from Lowe's for like
$40.
$40 or $50. You know.
And then we just added a doorknob to
Yep,
it,
I just
so it
added
looks
a
like
door.
a door.
Yep.
So photo tip, if you're taking a photo and you have a reflective sign like this, and you know how you're trying to, you usually wait until the sun goes down, but it never fails. There's always an irritating glare on your sign. If you can get someone to do it with you, they can hold up a blanket behind you to take all that extra glare or light off.
Like a
and
dark
then you have,
blanket,
yeah, you have like a flat. Then you get a really nice picture of what your sign looks like without the glare. If you're like me, sometimes I'm by myself. I just kind of hook it on the door where I'm at and just stretch the blanket across, and you hold it, and you're doing this whole thing with your camera, trying to get rid of that glare. So, yeah, that's the downside of the shiny, nice signs, is the glare. So any other questions I can answer for you guys tonight? See, here's an extra one. Other than that,
That's it.
oh, the wreath. So, my bow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have no shame. So look, this is the one we're going to be redoing in my group. The sign is completely buried. It's supposed to be a interactive sign that you can, it's a chalkboard cauldron, so you can put how many days till Halloween. But look at the bow. This is the bow. This was my bow. I think it was a hand-tied bow. So just one thing of ribbon. It has no ribbon tails, has nothing else. These are just curls. on a base.
Yeah.
So this needs to get redone. So I'm going to show the group what I would be doing, and then we're also going to be looking at the Etsy listing that I have this listed under and look at how we can reformulate that so this has a much better look. But I'll probably go on something like that now with the extra fabric mesh I have left. So yeah, that's a sad bow. It's a really sad bow. A really sad bow. The Deco mesh is nice though, but the bow needs to go. So
April said she liked the one you took down too, the one that had the bat.
the bat.
Yeah.
The bat came from Carol's Stitches of Love. So she sells these little stuffed embellishments. So this one just has bats all going around it. So we incorporated bat ribbon and then added the bat. And then we did waffle ribbon in our bow as well. So yeah, fun stuff, huh? But there you guys go. So Sunday, we're gonna redo this. We're gonna give it a whole new look. It's gonna look like a whole new wreath by the time we get done. So
Yep, Sunday's private group. Yep.
and then I'll try to do one for Friday. I'll have to like look in my inventory and see which one I want to take apart and redo. There's a couple in there. It just might be like maybe the peach one. I have one that's Farmer's Market Peach.
Yeah.
And then there's a rooster one that I need to redo. So, okay, no questions. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to private group Sunday. Everybody else, I'll see you next Friday, but have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.